Welcome everyone back to the channel, Flat Tire Dan. Good to see everybody. So for today's episode, and I apologize, I've been meaning to get to this for a little while, but if you follow us on Instagram, flat_tire_Dan, and if you don't, you should, you would have seen this morning, I think, YouTube time is weird, whatever. You would have seen this morning, I think, kind of a snippet of what we were going to get into today. We get a lot of questions on the channel, right? Through the comments, through our connections on Instagram, all that kind of stuff, and we love them and keep them coming. We really do enjoy interacting with you guys. And we get a lot of questions about the channel, how'd you come up with the name, you know, what do you do for a living, whatever, you know, different weird stuff like that. But we also get a lot of questions about how we actually create the content. Like how we actually capture the videos and the pictures and you know, while we're moving, while we're sitting still, how do we attach things to certain things, all kinds of questions like that. Very regularly we get those questions. And I've been meaning to put together an episode because most times people, especially when it has to do with attaching a camera or something to one of the vehicles, right? How do you do that? Can you send me a picture? Well, YouTube doesn't allow me to send photos through the comments on the episodes. So if I need to give you pictures, if you're looking for pictures on how I do things, which I love sharing with you guys, right? I have to do it through Instagram. But if you don't have an Instagram account, then I can't really share with you pictures on exactly how we mount or use the different types of media that we use. So I thought it might be a good idea to put together a quick episode of kind of what we're using on the channel. And granted, I know it's crude. There's way more advanced stuff out there. We're getting there, but like I watch a lot of other YouTubers, and they're using a lot more complicated technology than we are, and I will eventually get there. But for now, what we're using seems to be working, and so I figured I'd put together a quick episode on what we're using, how we're using it, some pictures, right, of how it's attached to different stuff, so that way people can better understand. And then obviously I'm not going to be able to get to everything. I always skip over stuff. So if you have more questions, you can hit me up in the comments, but if you're looking for more pictures and stuff, then the only way I really know to get them to you is through Instagram. Once again, flat_tire_Dan. So let's get started. In this, well, I'll just go from like maybe simplest to most complicated, right? In this environment, when I'm speaking to you guys, when I'm doing the introductions or the outros of any of our episodes, I'm traditionally recording with my iPad. All right, I'm set up in my garage today. I've got the iPad sitting on my workbench. It's got a special case that kind of props the iPad up, which works really well for recording. And I put a picture of that in the beginning of this episode. I got it on Amazon. It works really well. Good microphone, good camera, good video. And I use that for the introductions and the outros. I think it's an iPad generation, 9th generation iPad. I use it mostly for work, but it does work for good stuff like this. And then I'll use it to kind of edit and stuff like that. And again, I know my editing isn't what some is, but you know, I have some simple editing through some Apple apps works well with the iPad. The next thing would be my iPhone. All right, so the next sort of more complicated thing I use is my iPhone. I have it here, iPhone 13 Pro Max. Let me show you a couple of pictures of kind of the different situations I use it in, and then I can explain them because people are always looking for pictures. So let me show you those. Okay, so those are sort of the different scenarios I use my iPhone in, right? And the different ways I use it. Basically, what I use it for is a couple different things. I'll use it for stagnant photos and video when I'm out on the trail. So what I mean by that is I'm riding or I'm out on the jet ski and I've stopped and I want to take a picture or I want to take a video of something. I traditionally will use my iPhone for that as opposed to unattaching the GoPro from whatever it's attached to. My phone is readily available on all my stuff, and I'll get into that. And so I use it for a lot of stagnant stuff, sitting still kind of stuff. And it's got a great camera. I mean, you guys, people know, especially Apple people know. The cameras in the video are outstanding. The microphones are great. I'm really pleased with it. But I also use it for a couple other things, which is kind of off topic, but I showed you some pictures. I use it both in the side-by-side and in the jet ski. I use it for navigation, which you've seen, right, in the videos. You can see through the GoPro footage that I'm using my phone in the side-by-side for navigation. And I also use it on both, right, because sometimes I need to navigate when I'm out on the jet ski. And there's a picture of how it mounts to the jet ski. And I also use it to control my music in both vehicles, right? So again, in the side-by-side, I use it. You've seen me control my music from right here. In the jet ski, I just keep the phone, if I'm not using it for navigation and I have the GoPro mounted up, I just keep the phone in like my little glove box, right? And I pull it out when I want to stop or start music, but I just play my playlist and it works great. As far as the mounting stuff for my phone, most of it is made by a company called RAM, right? As far as mounting, whether it be to the side-by-side or to the handlebars of the jet ski, I've gotten a lot of questions about how I mount to the handlebars of the jet ski, and I can give you individual pictures of that, like what I bought and stuff if you connect with me on Instagram. But mounting to the vehicle, I use products from RAM. I get them on Amazon. Now, as far as the connection of the phone to the mount, I use a system called Quad Lock. And it works really well. The RAM stuff is good, but the RAM stuff isn't real easy to disconnect and reconnect if I want to take those stagnant videos and photos like I was talking about. So I use the Quad Lock. It's just a simple button. You click, you can use the phone, put it back on, and off you go. So RAM to mount to the vehicles, and then Quad Lock to mount the phone to the mounts. Again, like super versatile. I use my phone for a lot of stuff. My phone is waterproof to, I think, 1 atmosphere, which is like 10 feet underwater. And so I don't have a problem mounting it on the jet ski while I'm navigating to get wet as it wants, and I've dropped it in the water and it's been just fine. So it works good on the jet ski, even in the side-by-side, we're going through like muddy water and stuff, everything gets wet, and the phone has been super dependable. Like I said, I've had this one for a little over a year, and the one I had before that did a great job. So big fan of the iPhone. Use it for video, for pictures, for music, and for navigation. And then the next thing, and you've heard me talk about this, and this is going to get a little more complicated, is my GoPro. So let me show you some pictures of the applications for that, and I'll get into exactly how we use that, and hopefully the pictures will better explain how we use it. All right, GoPro. This is the one I get the most questions about. I'll try and be quick. GoPro Hero 11. All right, got it a little over a year ago. I think right around when we started the channel. Bought it directly from GoPro off of their website. Also, at the same time, I purchased a subscription to their GoPro Quick app, which basically they threw in for free. Which I use to manipulate the video, move the video around from different device to device and edit when I want to and kind of stuff like that. Again, I don't use it to its full capability yet, like time-lapse stuff, things like that, but I'm learning. But so far, love it. Waterproof to 10 feet, so 1 atmosphere again. And then I've got accessories if I want to get deeper than that, I'll show you. But great, so far, love it. Really easy to use, user-friendly, which is good for me. So the ways that I use it, well, walking around, right, taking video. Never really take any still pictures with it. This doesn't make sense, but I do take a lot of video with it. Walking around, whether it be like the RV or the boat show or hiking with Triton or whatever we're doing, standing in the water, that kind of stuff. I use this wand, right, this kind of handheld wand for the GoPro. It's nice. It floats. So if I were to drop it in the water, it wouldn't sink and I would lose it. Super sturdy. It's got this like, attachment for my wrist, and then what's nice is usually I'm wearing my backpack, and so I attach this with a carabiner here, and so it's always right here. So if something happens and I really want to be quick about catching it, I've always got it handy. I don't have to like get it out of my backpack. It's not put away. So I really like this handheld wand. Comes in useful. Use that for most of my hiking and that kind of stuff. All right, so I guess we'll start with the jet ski. All right, on the jet ski, it sits in a mount. The same mount that I use for my phone, the RAM mount that I bought off of Amazon, and it's a RAM mount designed for a motorcycle handlebar, all right? And then I have a GoPro accessory to attach from RAM mount to GoPro. Now, normally, even though my GoPro is waterproof, up to 10 feet, I will usually mount it, and in the pictures you saw it mounted in this waterproof case. Came from GoPro. Is good to 30 feet. The reason I do it is because it helps me with wind reduction, right? Moving pretty quick. And it doesn't seem to affect the video at all. And we do get really wet, you know, like you've seen in the episodes, we get really wet. And so if I can protect the camera some, I will, right? And so I use this waterproof case, works great, got it from GoPro. Again, mounts directly to that RAM mount, that same mount I use for my phone. And if you haven't seen, go back and check out some of the jet ski episodes. Works great, super happy with that. As far as the side-by-side, it does. I don't mount to the RAM mount. That's kind of what my phone is always active when I'm in the side-by-side. On the jet ski, I'm not using the phone unless I need to navigate, which is rare, right? But in the side-by-side, I've always got the phone and the RAM mount, so I've got the GoPro mounted at different places around the side-by-side that you've seen, right? You've seen the point of view that I'm talking about. The one I use most is attached to the roll bar, which is in the pictures, between me and the passenger seat. And it kind of gives you the view out the windshield, right? And now that's a round roll bar, and GoPro doesn't necessarily make a mount that works with that. So I got a little bit creative, and I purchased this helmet face mask attachment for a GoPro. It's got these straps, right? It mounts to the face mask of a helmet, roundish, right? For when you're riding. Now I have a helmet mount that you saw in the pictures, but I prefer not to mount a helmet because my head's constantly moving, right? And so the video is constantly moving around. It just seems erratic, seems difficult to watch, right? But whatever. I bought this to mount to the roll bar because it's made to mount to something kind of round, right? So I mount it to the roll bar and I reinforce it with some zip ties. It's not a GoPro mount, so it's not quite as heavy duty as I would like. Actually, the last one broke last time we were out, if you remember. But got this off of Amazon, and this is what's mounted to the roll bar, and then the GoPro mounts to this. Works really well when it's not broken. The other mount I use that you saw the picture of is facing me. Occasionally people want to see me driving, so I've got a GoPro mount just mounted to the plastics facing me. You saw that as well. So that's everything on the side-by-side. A couple other accessories I have. This is a little tripod, right, for like stagnant video. Like sometimes I'm at the lake or something, right, and I want to take like a quick video of the lake behind me. And so I will put the GoPro on this and set it on the tailgate of my truck or picnic bench or whatever. Again, from GoPro, super useful. And then the last one I want to talk about is one I just got. So I got some comments from people from the RV show that they had difficulty hearing me, right, when I was walking around with my camera. And that's because I was in like a room full of people and I didn't want to be yelling, you know? And so I was kind of talking low, and the microphone on the GoPro is having difficulty picking me up. So what do? I reach out to GoPro, I say, what can I do about that? And they suggested this media mod. So basically this folds open and the GoPro slides in this and connects to this and uses the power from the GoPro, right? And with this media mod, it's got a much more sensitive, much more advanced microphone, so it can hear me at a lower tone, right? It's also got these different mounts for lighting and stuff like that. So basically it takes my GoPro camera into a much more advanced, much more usable kind of video camera if I wanted to. But for me, mostly I got it for the microphone purposes. I haven't used it yet. I'll let you know how it works. Let's see what else I got here. Didn't touch on this. This is sort of like a foamy kind of wind baffle. Use it mostly in the side-by-side to cut down on wind noise. Works great. Like last year at Mudfest, I was mentioning to you that I was kind of playing with some stuff with the wind noise, and then I was able to use this, and it worked great, and they're cheap. I mean, this isn't a GoPro thing. I bought these off of Amazon, and, you know, I wash them out in the sink when I'm done. They work great. I think that's all the accessories I have so far. You get all these different clips and mounts, and you can buy them in packages, but again, if I can, I buy my GoPro accessories directly from GoPro. I find them to be the most durable, most quality products. And with my GoPro subscription, which I have to renew annually, but it's not crazy money, I get pretty good discounts directly from their website. So that's what I would suggest as far as GoPro stuff. Again, I probably glanced over some stuff. If you want more information, just hit me up in the comments. Hopefully this episode was useful on how we kind of capture what we're doing. I'm learning as I go. I'm always finding better ways to do things, media mod, that kind of stuff. And so as necessity drives, I will learn more and more about them, give you guys better video and picture quality. But so far, so good. Hopefully you guys are enjoying it. Again, any other questions, go ahead and ask, and I'll get back to you as soon as I can. Coming up next, we're going camping soon, actually, and I think there's some stuff I want to get done on the camper before we go, possibly a roof coating. Now, the camper's only a few years old, really doesn't need a roof coating, but the coating I'm going to use is good for 20 years. So it doesn't really make any difference if I do it now or 3 years from now, right? It's good for as long as I'm ever going to own the camper. So I figure I'll knock it out now. I have the coating, just waiting for it to warm up a little bit. I am going to do an episode on that, and then we're going to be out camping in a couple, 2-3 weeks. So we'll bring you along for that. As always, like, really having a blast. Thanks everybody for watching. Subscriptions and views keep going up, and we really appreciate everybody who's been tuning in. It makes it a lot of fun, and hopefully we'll continue to give you guys stuff that you're interested in. If you're watching and you like what we're doing, please subscribe to the channel. It does help us reach more viewers. And remember, stay tuned for more content from Flat Tire Dan. We'll see you.